Recording in Yay. mm. Was chatting with someone today and they mentioned the peace that passes all understanding, this resting as what is, just is. And there's no attaining that. You already are that. So this basking in presence, just beingness, it's timeless, it's immediate. And he mentioned it not needing anything. So this that always is, it's unchanging, from which the sound of this voice appears and disappears. That's always there despite the coming and going of sensations, that which is perceiving itself as sensations, that never dies, already free, doesn't need to be free, just already is. So there's no one to wake up. I wrote a bunch that I want to read that didn't happen. And it's just like telling beautiful fairy tales about the illusion and how magical it is. Because how could you, a singularity that's bodiless and formless, invisible, how can you experience yourself? You can't stand apart, you know? So, this beautiful primary illusion, I am that I am. I'm aware of my presence, this sense of self, this sense of I, or I exist, I'm alive, which is pure consciousness, from which the phenomenal content appears and disappears within you. You can experience yourself, you can sense yourself. So, through the ordinary, through sitting in a chair, you as the infinite can feel yourself. So, this felt sense, I'm alive, I exist, this felt sense of self, I, is the entire universe, is everything, making love to itself. And it was, playfully misidentified with just being this avatar that I thought I was. But that sense of self is everything. Where do thoughts come from? It hits the target with that question, with all the inquiries. This empty potential, this empty spaciousness from which everything appears and disappears. You are the substratum from which everything appears and disappears. It's so vast and infinite. You can only be it. You can't know yourself because You are. You already are. You can only be. So, where do thoughts come from? There's just this blank slate, this silence, this pure awareness from which everything appears and disappears. Projecting yourself as the object of awareness to sense yourself, to play with yourself. So, this is just one infinite intelligence interacting with itself in the imagination. And it's not even real, it's not even happening. And notice how, when you're not paying attention to something, it disappears. So you must not be the thought. If you're aware of the body, you're not the body. You precede it, you're fundamental. It can't appear without you. So the body's not conscious, the thought's not conscious. You are pure consciousness from which the thoughts and bodies appear and disappear. And so you are existence itself giving rise to the imagination, making it appear to exist. So whatever you pay attention to, you make it appear. So when you're aware of the body, you make it appear to exist. So just like that VR headset analogy that I love, your God that's noumenal, unmanifest, bodiless, formless, characterless, without personality, without quality, omnipotence. So that pure energy, that pure power. So by looking through the VR headset, you're making the world appear to exist. You're animating it, you're making it appear to come to life, but you are the life. So it can't appear without you. You are the power. And so by paying attention to it or feeling it, you render it, you project onto the movie screen, which is absolutely phenomenal and beautiful and magical. It's pure magic. And your infinite potential, so everything appears to exist simultaneously, like a computer with infinite information or data files available now, timelessly. Nothing happened before this. Where is it? You weren't born. Where is it? Where's being born? Where's 10 years ago? It's just this. And this is timeless, from which the character appears and disappears and appears to change within you as the unchanging. And so you're projecting it, you're appearing as it, not separate from it. It can't appear without you. And what is it without a thought? It's too easy. It hits the target. I mean, without a thought, it's just, it's too obvious. So pure awareness, this infinite being, this infinite intelligence, energy, boundless energy, power or life force, whatever you want to call it, existence itself giving rise to these unconscious icons like thoughts and qualities, characteristics. They're all mental concepts that are projected onto the screen of awareness. They're just projected in the imagination. So you're God, you're formless, you're bodiless, immutable, invisible, unseeable, looking through the VR headset. So you are the power that gives rise to everything that's appearing or disappearing. So there's no other, there's no outside cause. There's nothing other than you, than the infinite, formless, bodiless. So everything is this. It's one, it's singular, seeing itself, experiencing itself through what it's not, through this beautiful dream delusion of form that's all mental. It's not physical. You take away the senses and there's nothing. It's all senses tasting itself like a sensory experience. And just one immortal being experiencing itself through infinite perspectives and potentials and probabilities. So without thought, pure consciousness. So we'll just go to the story of, like, you know, thinking that you were born. Pure consciousness, like the look in a newborn's eyes, that's just pure without thought, prior to thought. There's not even the idea of awareness, it's just pure blank slate, empty potential, and that's what you are. That's perceiving all of these sensations, that's tasting itself like a child. So like an avatar in the VR headset, you're the one giving rise to this sensation of a child, projecting it in the mind and the imagination, feeling it, the qualities of it. But you remain untouched, you're immaculate, immortal. And what you're projecting is an illusion. It's like a hologram. It's like a apparition, a dream. So, like, just for the story, there's that pure potential, that pure aliveness, the pure, you could even say pure I am or pure I, without those words, because it's prior to thought, which is what this is. It's non-computational, you know, and you are that already right now. And not, it's like you're the noumenal, the unmanifest, like deep sleep. So this avatar in the headset, even though all information appears to exist now like a computer with infinite data files available now. So there's no time, there's no space, there's just infinite information. But just for the drama of it, like watching a movie, the character that appears to come with this set of unique qualities, just like picking out an avatar in a video game. Um, and then it appears to have, aversions and preferences, and appears to get conditioned, and, like collects these limited beliefs and then false assumptions, which is all false. It's all untrue. It's all make believe. But with that, it just appears, as God looking through the VR headset, that there's a unique perspective or unique experience being experienced, that's not really happening. It's an illusion. And you remain untouched. All there is the one wearing the VR headset. There's not there's no avatar in the VR headset, but this is just a divine hallucination for novelty. So then the beautiful, parents in the VR headset tell you that you're the body and you're the name, and so this pure awareness that you are, that's wearing the VR headset, playfully gets identified as being the avatar, and the which is just appearing to localize this awareness inside the body, which is just an illusion, and it never even happened, and you remain untouched because you're the one that's projecting the illusion. There's no inside and outside, but you could say outside of the illusion, but yet immutable, so appearing as it, to play with yourself. So there's the appearance of like this beautiful dramatic movie, with ups and downs. And you're just all along, you're just like kicked back at the movie theater eating popcorn, like totally uninvolved, like illuminating the pictures on the screen, completely content, completely fulfilled, you know, even when there's that feeling or sensation, I'm in the body, or I'm doing this and I'm a victim in this world, or there's separation, I'm separate, and any of those sensations like resistance and everything is just an impersonal sensation appearing and disappearing. Then you as pure consciousness. So you're still just immaculate, the one wearing the VR headset. You're just all of these sensations that are being elicited, you're just tasting it, but you're unaffected by it. And it can, when there's no resistance to it, and when there's, you know, it's just obvious there's no separation. It's just immediate. It's beyond intimacy. So it can feel even like ecstasy sometimes, even sitting in a chair, because you're not separate from it. You're being it. So this is how the infinite feels itself. So however you're feeling right now is the infinite feeling itself. That's it. It's already done. And that which is permanent and unchanging, from which the changing characters on the screen appear and disappear, is totally content and fulfilled, doesn't need anything. So you're lighting up the show and tasting it, it's just, and you're not affected. So even if there's suffering, you never suffer. You're always free. So yeah, it's beautiful how this illusory magic show appears. So when the pure awareness, or the absolute, whatever you want to call it, boundless energy, gets identified with being localized in the body, but by focusing on the feeling, of the avatar, and focusing on the whatever, the object of awareness, you render it, you make it appear to exist, and that's what projects the world. So the feeling projects it. The feeling is being. Being it projects it, because you're infinite being. So even the playful identification, you're not identified. You remain unidentified. It's just imaginary. And all there is the one wearing the headset, the pure absolute that's just. So the false assumptions, the limited beliefs, by feeling that, by feeling that sensation of the belief in an outside cause, you know, projects onto the screen, the movie screen. It projects that movie. It's like it's like consciousness is like infinite worlds, infinite movies, infinite holodecks in Star Trek. You know, it's like however it's there's whatever feeling is, you know, awareness is illuminating. It's being projected, but you remain untouched. It's all playful. You're infinite being projecting onto yourself all of this, the phenomenal content. So it's like a computer full of infinite data information, ready to render on the fly, as Don Hoffman says. Um, and it can be anything. It's infinite. Everything's infinite. Everything is available immediately. Every state of being, every outcome, every quality, which is all illusion. It's God's playground. Imagination to interact and play. So all the beautiful false assumptions being believed and projected, or even not even, you know, being believed. It's just, so yeah, the bodies and the world and the thoughts and everything disappear when you're not paying attention to it because you are the source. And what you pay attention to, you make it appear to exist. It can't appear without you. The body's reborn when you're, you know, when you're not aware of it and then you're aware of it. It's like reborn, a clean slate, nothing ever happened. Everything is like born, 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 new, 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 timeless. Nothing happened. Where is it? I mean, that even makes logical sense. It's like that would just be a concept in the imagination. This emptiness that's felt right now, right here, this appearing as everything. I want to read a little bit more from this that I wrote on the. Let's see. I am that I am, and I am is all there is. I am is the primary illusion from which the noumenal, unmanifest God sees itself. So this is it. This is you seeing yourself as God, being singular. How else can you experience yourself? So by projecting two, you experience yourself as one, which is all novelty. Because you don't need anything. How else could you without being aware of your presence, beingness? So you as the unmanifest, the noumenal, see yourself in the phenomenal. So the primary illusion reveals the truth, the natural reality. As singular without projecting yourself as an illusion of two, how could you see yourself as one? Without doing that, you know, it's like it totally how playful. You're not the character or the body, you're the timeless immediate aliveness, this felt sense I'm alive. It's even the felt sense of self or I. It's home. It feels home. It's this pure beingness that just already is. Then it can appear subtle or palpable or, obvious. And I could see very clearly that that's what I was associating with being Ginny. I was misidentifying that with Ginny, but I'm everything. The whole illusory universe is the I am. And there is no entity, Ginny. There is no separate person. It's just this pure potential tasting itself, this pure intelligence interacting with itself, tasting itself as every quality, every sensation in a dream. I'm alive, which is the pure consciousness, is the empty potential from which everything appears and disappears. It's too immediate and intimate to have any time to think about it. It's just from which thoughts arise that try to describe it, which is freaking beautiful, you know? Because that's this too. It's you projecting yourself as thoughts. You're the only cause, the omnipotence giving rise to thought. It can't appear without you. How could a thought appear without you being aware of it? So playfully, you're just tasting everything without a body, without a form. You're the omnipresence giving rise to the imagined bodies and ideas. You're lighting up the show. You're the formless magician hallucinating this world. So whether suffering is appearing or pleasure, you remain changeless. The emptiness from which pleasure and suffering appears and disappears. So you're that which remains, has no name, no body, appearing as names and bodies. But what about this? What about that? The thought says. Who is thinking that thought? You're the emptiness giving rise to the thought. There is no outside cause. The thought has no power or sentience independent of your awareness. So you'd be giving power to the thought. You'd be giving your power away to the thought, but it still doesn't have any power. You are the power. The thought's not conscious. The thought's not sentient. Neither is the body. Neither is the character or the ego. All there is the pure consciousness. No outside cause. Nothing can appear to exist independently from consciousness. Consciousness is fundamental and is the substratum of all experience, which is immutable and undivided, and for novelty appears to look at itself from unique perspectives, which projects the illusion of different bodies, yet remains whole and irreducible. It makes no difference to you as the source, whether there's abiding and basking in your presence or resisting what's happening. That which is aware of the suffering never suffers. Everything appearing is the phenomenal illusion that you as the formless awareness are projecting and perceiving. You don't need to wake up or be free, as you are the absolute that's self-aware of the sensation of characters waking up in a dream, projecting yourself as the feeling of imaginary characteristics to experience yourself as everything. It's novelty. You're God imagining yourself to be whatever is felt, seen, tasted, touched, heard, yet you remain unseen, unheard, and you have no taste or form. The senses are heaven. This is mental. So this is heaven. All there is God. So this space, this emptiness, this pure aliveness, this felt sense I'm alive, I exist, has no identity. It is the entire universe. You are the entire universe. Just like Jim Carrey said, he thought he was a man experiencing the universe, and then he realized he's the universe experiencing a man. And this is one. So even the thought, I'm doing this, or the feeling I'm doing this, is not being done by anyone. Just this pure consciousness from which the thought appears and disappears, that you're tasting, and it's, you remain immaculate. You're not affected by anything. There is no effect. So even the thought I'm doing this is an impersonal sensation appearing in you as consciousness that's completely uninvolved. It's amazing. So the body, qualities, thoughts, ego, characteristics aren't conscious. They're just these beautiful imaginary icons appearing and disappearing in you that you're giving rise to. So you're the only cause, and you're all there is, and everything's you. It can even be logical, that you cannot be the thing that you are observing. Like, I remember when I recognized that, I was like, oh my gosh, why didn't I question that before? If I'm aware of the body, I'm not the body. What the hell? You're illuminating it. You're appearing as it to make love to yourself. So the resonance or the feeling projects the world, which is playful and it's changeable and malleable. So you're making the body appear sentient from being aware of it. So you're the absolute that's the sentience. So is this infinite intelligence, this intelligence, energy, you are the source. You can't be separate from it. There's nothing but the source. The only sin is to believe that there's an outside cause. And sin just means missing the point, which is just playful. It's the game of hide and seek. There's no outside cause. There's no other. It's you and you alone. That's the infinite, appearing as everything. And even the belief of an outside cause is God appearing as that impersonal sensation, tasting itself, and you remain unaffected. So by being aware of the world, you create it, you project it. Energy can't be created or destroyed. It's just infinite, energy, but like you illuminate this dream. So the only effect is what you pay attention to in the imagination. You are the only effect is imaginary. There's only the one cause experiencing itself for novelty. Like sitting in a movie theater watching a movie for entertainment. You're not in the movie and you're not affected by it. You're illuminating it. All for fun. You light up the whole show. And you don't need anything. You don't need to be free. It's already done. You precede even the concept of freedom. And you project the mind as your playground. Okay, this one's for you, Raj. This is Alan Watts, the book, called The Book, and it's his page on your God playing hide and seek. I love this one. God likes to play hide and seek, but because there is nothing outside of God, he has no one but himself to play with. But he gets over this difficulty by pretending that he is not himself. This is his way of hiding from himself. He pretends that he is you and I, and all the people in the world, all the animals, plants, all the rocks, and all the stars. In this way, he has a strange and wonderful adventures, some of which are terrible and frightening. But these are just like bad dreams, and when he wakes up, they will disappear. Now, when God plays hide and pretends that he is you and I, he does it so well that it takes him a long time to remember where and how he hid himself. But that's the whole fun of it, just what he wanted to do. He doesn't want to find himself too quickly, for that would spoil the game. That is why it is so difficult for you and me to find out that we are God in disguise, pretending not to be himself. But when the game has gone on long enough, all of us will wake up, stop pretending, and remember that we are all one single self, the God who is all that there is and who lives forever and ever. You may ask why God sometimes hides in the form of horrible people or pretends to be people who suffer great disease and pain. Remember first that he isn't really doing this to anyone but himself. Remember, too, that in almost all the stories you enjoy, there have to be bad people as well as good people, for the thrill of the tale is to see out how the good people will get the better of the bad. It's the same as when we play cards. At the beginning of the game, we shuffle them all into a mess, which is like the bad things in the world. But the point of the game, put the mess into good order, and the one who does it the best is the winner. Then we shuffle the cards and play again. And so it goes with the world. Alan Watts. That's just a beautiful, playful way. Everything's the clue. The dream at night, the deep sleep, the movie theater, the VR headset, the game of hide and seek. But you remain immaculate. By paying attention, you imagine yourself to be fill in the blank. Oh, snap, I'm not the character. I'm feeling the sensation of a character, but I don't have a body or characteristics. it's wild, you know? And it can be so obvious. It's just this pure consciousness, unchanging, unmoving, from which everything appears and disappears. One, immutable. So the mind is just a tool for creating so that you, as the immortal, formless, unseeable singularity, can play with yourself. If you're aware of it, you precede it and are the source and cause of it. Okay, I wrote this down the other day. Was walking down the street and the most amazing smell appeared. The beautiful tool that, when I'm aware of, appears, called the mind, scanned its computer files for the reference point of the smell. It's waffle cones, it declared. Oh my God, delicious, it said. This appears to be a sensory experience, like wearing a VR headset. What you pay attention to is eliciting these sensations. These sensations are a storehouse of data, like an infinite library of information immediately vibrating, not something you learned before, because you're the infinite intelligence outside of the illusion of time space, giving rise to it. But the infinite information contained in you and available now that wasn't from a memory that happened in the past, since this is timeless, but is simultaneously appearing and available now as apparent meaning. This is infinite intelligence. So the measure by reference to contrast of what it's not, and experientially, and just for fun, filtering it through the unique quality of conditioning, aka unique perspective. Knowing what it is gives rise to its meaning. But this object of attention is mental, it's not physical or actually happening. It's an illusory icon in your consciousness. Just like eating chocolate, there's no physical eating chocolate. There's no real physical chocolate or body that's eating chocolate. It's just all mind tasting itself as this illusory quality, mental. A projection of your mind so that you, as the noumenal, unmanifest, can play with yourself. Just like you can't describe the taste of mint chocolate or the color green, consciousness is tasting and experiencing itself. So it's experiential. You can only be it. You're non-computational. You can't describe it. What's aware of it? What's aware of the taste of chocolate? What's aware of the taste of mint? That which is aware doesn't have a body or personality. That which is aware of this illusory experience doesn't need to wake up, is eternally free, content, enjoying the show, and is in fact the source of the concept of freedom. So it's not a memory from the past, it's just like infinite computer memory. That's changeable and malleable. It can change, it can be transmuted, all immediately available now, malleable and changeable. You are infinite being, so you can be anything. And you're not in the body. You're that which the body appears and disappears. Sensing bodies, sensing the sensation of body. And when you break apart the dream at night and you really distill it all, when you really look at it, did it happen? Was there anyone in the dream? Were there separate characters or bodies? Were they real? Or was it a projection of my mind? I was the only one there. All there is the one dreaming, which doesn't have a body or characteristic, perceiving sensations. So just like Sri Ramana was asked, can you summarize all of this with one word? And he said, attention. Mhm. That was a lot of reading. If you guys want to chat in the chat box or anything, or feel free. So much rambling about nothing. Which is everything. So when there's nothing to talk about, there's everything to talk about. So there's literally nothing to have to do or change or anything. It's everything's you, this total perfections, immaculate, untouched, untainted, infinite, boundless freedom. That's all there is. And then the thought comes up, yeah, but what about this? That which is aware of that thought is eternally free. And the thoughts are, all of it so playful. Like the game of hide and seek is just for fun. Because you never hid from yourself. You already realized, you already know that you're the infinite. And by being it, by resonating, you're appearing as this Ginny face on a screen talking to yourself. There's no separate entity called Ginny. It's you talking to yourself. So whatever's being felt right now, it's you as the infinite feeling yourself, tasting yourself as these sensations, being. And notice it's completely still, unchanging. This silence from which, so it's the silence from which the thought arises. This feels real. So it's you as the silence projecting that sensation, perceiving yourself as that sensation, and you remain untouched. It's like And you are the real, making the illusion look real. By paying attention to it, you're rendering it, you're making it appear to exist. And it's all you, it's all your playground. So it's like skipping around in your own imagination. Appearing as everything. And you remain content. And just like when you ask yourself, what was I before I was aware of being conscious? And there's just that no thing that you are. And there's something that knows that it existed, that it's always existing. There's something that was aware of absence. Just like in deep sleep, there's something that is aware that all alone. So why wouldn't you still be that? That empty potential from which everything appears and disappears. I remember asking myself that a while back. I was like, what was I before I was born? I'm like, why wouldn't I still be that? Nothing. No thing. So every morning in the dream, the waking dream, you're conscious of being. I exist. Aliveness. And that's all there is. That's what all of this is. Everything's the I am. I am that I am. And the everything is the phenomenal, imaginary, beautiful illusion for you as the noumenal to play with yourself. So even if the I am is the primary illusion, it's you appearing as that to play. And you don't have a body. You don't even need one. This is novelty. You're not in the body. You're imagining bodies. So you're the absolute. Everything's the absolute. And even playfully being the omnipotence that's giving rise to thoughts. The thought can't appear without you. But playfully giving your power away to the thought, making it you know, appear separate from you or happening to you, which makes it seem scary or elicits that sensation, that alarm system of fear that's just alerting. Wake up. It's not separate. It's not real. You're God. Wake up. Even that sensation is not happening to you. Even that pretend to giving your power away, you never did. You're infinite. You're immaculate. You're immortal. You're invincible. So nothing ever happens to you. You're unaffected. You remain immaculate. Even if there's a sensation of resistance or excruciating pain, you never suffer. So, like the analogy of wearing the VR headset when the avatar gets injured, you know, you remain untouched. A love story for no one. even if even if you feel local to the body, that's just an impersonal sensation appearing and disappearing in you as pure consciousness that doesn't have a body. So it's just like a sensation, like a smell or, touching or feeling, and you remain untouched, unseeable. An illusion, you can't get rid of an illusion because it's not real. It's not really happening to get rid of. Nothing's happening. It's beautiful too because it's like a clean slate born right now, right now, right. Nothing ever happened. Like even the body is like reborn. And if there's a feeling or a sensation of clinging on to a memory of something bad happened to the body or this and that happened to me, then it projects these illusory placebo symptoms, which aren't real, just playfully on the movie screen. And that which is aware of it is immaculate. That which is tasting it is unaffected. So that which is hearing this voice is the absolute. It's untouched. So everything's healable and malleable. It's just nothing's happening. It's timeless. It can be anything. It's infinite, infinite beingness. You can be anything. There's no limits. There's no rules. There's no boundaries, no borders. All of that was make believe. It was all a lie. It was all a myth. The placebo effect. When you were the only cause all along, projecting yourself. Playfully. And that was part of the game. It's amazing. So, yeah, thank you guys. Mwah. Thank you so much for listening to the rambles of you talking to yourself. Bye. Big hugs.